I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates, and you know what we say over here on Marlene Motivates. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Shout out to all my channel members. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Motivated Podcast, where we podcast about motivation, inspiration, positivity, and mindset shifting. I'm going to go to the chat and to see who is in here. Hi, Delightful Dawn. How are you doing? Hey, hey, hey. Shout out to the mods. Hey, Eunice. How are you doing? All is well here. Thank you so much. Appreciate every single one of you. Welcome to the Motivated Podcast. So, today on the podcast, as you can see by the title, we're talking about anger and envy. And anger and envy is something that, you know, it's not our fault. And but we still have to learn how to deal with others, right? We have to learn how to deal with others and their difficult emotions. So let me get started with this topic. So one thing that I had to learn when talking about anger and envy in other people, I had to realize that it's not my fault. It's not your fault for how somebody else feels. It's not your fault for how someone is dealing or not dealing with their emotions. That's what I didn't understand before. I didn't understand that it was not my fault. It's not your fault for how they are coping or not coping with their emotions. And people will be angry because you don't feel how they feel. It's not our responsibility to cause them to mature or to grow up or to do what they're supposed to do. There are so many people who make poor decisions. They don't do what they're supposed to do. There's consequences for their actions, but they will never come to that because they're not accountable. They're not responsible. But it's okay because we have to learn to do better, and this is all about navigating through the difficult emotions of other people. There are so many people and they are so hard to deal with. They are so hard to deal with because of for various reasons. Some people are hard to deal with because they have some mental illness. Let's be honest. Some people have some mental illness, and that can make it very difficult to deal with them. It really does. Hey, Jessica, how are you? Welcome. Happy Monday. Welcome to the podcast. I hope all is well with you. And that's one thing that I had to learn, that it's not my fault that they are not coping with their life. I spent so many years trying to get people on my side of peace and happiness and joy, but you can't make that choice for somebody else. Every single adult that is mature has to understand that for themselves. You have to choose peace. You have to choose joy. You have to want to choose to do the right thing. That's not our fault. It's not our fault that they make poor decisions, that they don't do what they're supposed to do. That's not anybody else's fault but ours. But every single one of us has to come to that space to where we have to be okay with ourselves and not to go inside of ourselves because of what they are dealing with. Just because they are dealing with some negative feelings, just because they're angry. And some people will be pissed at the world, angry at every single person in this world, when one of the things that I learned in my elevation when I got to know myself as a mature woman, that all we can ever do is, implant uh, seeds of hope inside of ourselves and maybe sprinkle some on the side of others. But it's not your job, it's not my job to bring somebody else to a place of peace. All we can do is be supportive. We can be good listeners for other people. I always say that it doesn't hurt to be compassionate, but not when it comes at the cost of our own self, when it becomes dangerous, when it becomes financially exhaustive, when you're getting physically drained, when you're getting mentally drained. That's where you have to cut it off. There's boundaries to support. I had to learn that there's boundaries to how much you can support certain people. And that's one thing about those who are angry. Some Until someone makes a decision that I no longer want to be angry, they won't. They're going to be angry as long as they want to be. I learned that for myself. I was angry for so many years with every single person, including myself, but I didn't understand that it was under my own control to make a choice to change that. I had to make a choice to shift myself, my life, into what I wanted it to be. And every single one of us can transform our life to make it into what we personally want. You can make your life be whatever it is that you personally want, but we can't do anything to transform another person's life. So let's start with today's topic, navigating difficult emotions in others. And we all know how some people are in the workplace, some who are our relative, some who are, you're in a romantic relationship or you previously were, and they have some very terrible anger issues. They are upset and angry about everything and everyone. And you want to ask them, like, what is your problem? And they want to argue with you, but you don't have to. Miss Eunice says, yes, that is so true. Sometimes you have to help people over, over, I don't know. You have to help people over, I don't know, something of time. And they just don't want to change and they're blaming the world. You have to leave them alone at that point. And that's what I'm saying. You know, when you're dealing with somebody who is angry and they have a hard time controlling their emotions, some people, and I feel sad for those people, I was one of them too, that, they didn't get, compassion, understanding, love, support. So they didn't get those things that help them in their childhood. So you bring your childhood pain and trauma and everything throughout your whole life until you learn to deal with it. And I had to face that for myself too. When are you going to stop being angry, pissed off, screaming, yelling, blaming everybody? You have to make a choice. If you don't like something, then do better. And that's what we have to give to other people. If other people are angry at you and you know you have nothing to do with it, don't bring it inwardly. We have to learn to stop doing that to ourselves. Don't bring their drama, their foolishness into our own world and make it be ours. Stop eating their negativity. Stop involving yourself in their drama. But some people will try to involve you in stuff. They will be so angry for what they're dealing with and going through, and just because you're a happy person, just because you have peace or you have joy, they will hate you. People absolutely hate somebody who is a bright beam of light. People hate that. They don't like somebody who is walking around smiling. They don't like to see someone who possesses joy. They want to see another person like them. If they're angry, they want you to be angry too. Misery loves company. They want to be miserable. So if they see you smiling, walking around, you're doing your thing, great things are happening to you, that it's going to, you're not going to mesh well. There's going to be some sort of, you're going to have to come to a fork in the road and make a decision. I got to go left if you're going right, because you can, sometimes some people just need to vent, and there's nothing wrong with that. As humans, we all go through something. So, you could be that for somebody, be that support system, be understanding. But when someone is doing things out of anger and backbiting, someone is saying things, and having a loose tongue and saying things to hurt you on purpose when you've done nothing to them, those are the ones that you have to stay away from. You cannot change a person like that. You can't change somebody who has a dark spirit, somebody who is evil. Um, some people, you just have to leave them alone because they will never mature. They will never, ever mature, and you can't make them grow up. You can't. Yes, I'm going through something like this with a family member right now. He is going through a lot of turmoil and he tries to put his negativity on me. But I think you meant, and but don't put your trauma on me. I think that's what you're saying, Miss Eunice. Yeah, a lot of people, they do that. They put their, or they make the assumption that because they're dealing with something, you should be dealing with it, with them, because you care for them or because you love them. You can be empathetic. You can even sympathize if you have been through something similar, but it is not your job. It is not your job to be angry just like them. That's where the separation has to come, motivators. You can't allow other people and their anger issues and their problems to become yours. We have to do way better than that. We have to know that we deserve better than that, that we don't have to settle, and you don't. Um, I had to learn that for myself, to stop blaming myself for how they feel. I didn't do anything. And another thing that I have to say with that, we have to stop apologizing for how they feel. There's some people that they always want you to keep telling them you're sorry because they're mad. They want you to be like, sorry, sorry, sorry that you lost your job. Sorry that you don't make the best decision. Sorry that I don't want to hear it. I don't know what they want you to say to them. But one thing that you have to realize is that you don't have to deal with it and you don't have to apologize. It's not your fault. Okay. Those are people that they need to take some time and get to know themselves. They need to learn how to get some coping skills. There are some people that have zero coping skills. And I have always found that people who are in management or in leadership that do not have good coping skills, they don't know how to communicate. They have no compassion. They have no zero life skills. They don't know how to deal with and talk to another person. And I understand that some people don't know how to communicate. They don't. A lot of people don't know how to communicate properly, but it's not your problem that they don't. It's not your problem that they are angry. It's not. We have to stop taking things inwardly, and especially when it comes to your relatives, you don't have to be angry because they're angry. You don't have to apologize because you did what you were supposed to do. I know there are some people who will be all angry because you got your education, because your credit score is good, because you have a good romantic relationship, because you have good relationships and friends, and because your life seems to be good from where they're standing, and they hate that about you. Yes, they want to keep you to keep saying sorry when you have not done anything to them, when they're the sorry person or individual. Yes. And that's one of the things that I used to do that all the time. Like I always find myself constantly saying sorry, sorry that you don't have the money, sorry that you lost your job, sorry that you're in this situation. But yes, there are some people that they do get a hard, set of circumstances in their life, but it's about the choices and the mindset. You may not be able to control what happened to you, but you can always control your reaction. And that's where the maturity and the separation comes. That I have difficulties in my life. I have problems. Marlene has problems, but I don't allow my problems to make me have a negative mindset. I don't see the world and go into a rant, want to argue with other people, want to get back at people, want to bring drama out. I don't want to do that because that's not me. I want to put out positivity. I want to put out encouragement. I want to put out inspiration. I want to encourage other people because that's what I want to do, because I'm in that space in my life. But there are a lot of people who do not want to hear anything positive. They only want to argue or be angry. They want you to be just like that. And for that reason, they hate you. And it really does not make any sense. I don't get it. I don't get the people who want you to be angry because they're angry. It's a projection, and it's not your fault. You had nothing to do with it. But when someone is angry, it's a reflection of some repressed memories, some things that they went through in the past. And I was one that I never wanted to face that. I never wanted to face that I was angry because what had happened to me. I don't think there's anybody on this earth that wants to admit, wants to face their pain because it hurts. Nobody wants to face what happened to them or what they have done, the people they've hurt or the ones that have hurt them. Nobody wants to confront pain because it's not comfortable. We don't like it. Who wants to hurt? Nobody. Nobody wants to hurt or be in pain, but we have to navigate through those difficult emotions. We have to learn to face our own self and to not take it out on other people. That's how we know that we're elevating and we're maturing and not being immature or selfish. Yes, there are times where you need to be by yourself so that you can get your mind together, so that you can know, okay, what am I doing, and what am I focusing on, because that could be a major issue. Sometimes we are focusing on what we shouldn't. We're focusing on the negative when there's always something positive about life. That's one thing that I learned in my personal growth and my journey and my walk through my life. There's always something that we could be grateful for. There's always something we could be appreciative of, but that's up to us to believe that. And I didn't want to believe that about myself. I really didn't. Hey, Realist One, how are you doing? Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing? Welcome in. Hey, Miss Tracy, how are you doing? Welcome in. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. If everybody could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. And that's one of the things that I had to learn, that, someone being angry is a reflection of what they have gone through or what they are going through. It has nothing to do with me. So we have to learn to stop blaming ourselves. I blame myself a lot, especially in romantic relationship, feeling like I was a bad person because I couldn't give them or be what they needed. All we can be as human beings is ourself. All you can be is you. All I can be is me. We can't be anything other than ourselves, or we shouldn't. You shouldn't be anybody other than who you are, who you're meant to be. But a lot of people, they stay stuck in the anger, the drama, the foolishness. I could say a few other colorful words, but I choose not to. We could choose to be that, or we can choose to be better. And that's the difference. That's the difference, motivators. I choose to be better. I choose to be positive. I choose that every single day. Every single day, we have to wake up and make a choice on what we're going to focus on. Are we going to choose to focus on the positive, or are we only going to look for the negative? Hey, puzzle pieces, how are you doing? Welcome in. Thank you so much. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing? Appreciate you being here. And that's one of the things that I had to learn that for myself. It's not my job to fix you. It's not my job to make you feel okay with yourself. If you feel like there is something inside of you that brings up anger, you got to get to the bottom of it. And I know for myself, therapy helped me with that. I was always blaming everybody else for my anger, when my anger was coming from me. And we have to stop, being intimidated by another person, especially somebody who is doing their thing, somebody who is doing something positive, somebody who's worked hard to achieve things. We're going to get into that when we start talking about envy. Yeah, all of those things. Hey, puzzle pieces. That's one of the things that we have to definitely learn. So Miss Eunice says he's going through a lot of issues with his wife and kids. He keeps on asking me, am I having problems with my family? My family is doing well. We have issues. We love each other and we work through it. And I believe that that's the difference, that people don't understand. The ones that are angry, especially the ones that have envy, they don't understand that you have problems. Every single person has problems. And the people who say they don't have problems, they're lying. They're lying, lying, lying. Everybody has problems. Everybody has issues. But it's what you do with those problems, how you choose to look at it. Look at it. What do you choose to focus? Like, what are you going to do about it? And if you can't change it, it's about having those life skills. And that's what I have found, that a lot of people who have anger issues, they don't have good life skills. They don't have good coping skills. They don't know how to navigate through life. They love to project their drama. They love to scream and yell and blame other people for their problems, and they have nothing to do with it. It's like, come on, everybody, grow up. Grow up and be an adult. A lot of people who have those anger issues, they think that, they've been entitled. They've been entitled for such a long time. They've been angry for such a long time. They don't know anything other than anger. If all you know is anger, then that's what you're going to be. But I learned that I don't have to be angry. I don't have to be this statistic. I don't have to be what other people say. That other people who look like me should look this way, should talk this way, should act this way, should have these certain things. We are the ones that have to choose that for ourselves. How do I choose to look? How do I choose to dress? Where do I choose to live? It's all choices. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. If you don't have what you want, if you don't like your life, if you don't like your relationships, then leave them, then move away. Make different choices. But please stop complaining about it. We're grown people, and not just grown people. Over here on Marley Motivates, we are mature people. We don't put up with the foolishness. We don't make the excuses. And you don't have to listen to people's negativity. You don't have to go back and forth and argue with people. You don't have to explain why you are doing what you're doing. And for me, that is something that is so exhausting to me. I get so exhausted feeling that I have to explain why I do what I do, and you don't. Much respect, Miss Tracy. Thank you so much for your membership for 8 months. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. And that's what I had to learn for myself, that if somebody is angry, it has nothing to do with me. That's them. That's them and their problems. That's them and their issues. And when someone is angry, we don't have to be angry. That takes a lot of growth. It takes a lot of growth as a woman or a man, that when somebody comes at you with their mouth and they say something slick to you, that you at that moment make a determination of what you're going to be at that moment. Am I going to go down in that rabbit hole with them and try to bring them up to my level? Or am I going to leave them there? There are some times that you do have to put people in their place. Don't get me wrong. Marlene is not saying be a doormat and let people talk to you like you're a fool. No, I don't mean that. But I mean, there are certain situations and certain people that they will never get it. There are some people that no matter how much kindness you give to them, how much support, how much understanding, compassion, you can do all of the good things for certain individuals. And no matter what you do for them, it will never be enough, because they don't feel that they are enough. They don't feel you are enough. They don't feel that you deserve to have the life that you have, you know? And that's one of the things that we're going to start getting into, talking about envy, anger and envy. A lot of people are envious of you, and they have a problem navigating their emotions, because they let that the envy, they let the jealousy, right? They're jealous of you because of who you are, of what you are, for the life you live, for the things that you do, that you're not angry with them. And a lot of people, it's one of the craziest things I have ever heard. People will be so angry at you because you don't go back and forth with them. They want to have that exchange. They want to have that exchange of energy, because they want to have the last say to you. But when you say nothing, they just have to walk away and leave you, because all they'll be doing is arguing with themselves. It's ridiculous. One thing I'm not going to do as a grown woman is, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to let anybody diminish my values. I'm not going to do that. So, however somebody thinks about you, irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Let them feel how they want to feel. Good afternoon, Miss Kim. How are you doing? Welcome in. Happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. I hope all is well with you. Yes, hello to the chat. Yes, Miss Eunice. Yes, I believe some of my family members, a few of them, they believe I don't deserve the life that I have. I need to be concerned with their own life and their own happiness. Yeah, that's one of the things that is crazy to me, is the ones that feel because you have got some levels of success, because of, for whatever means, through your education, through just getting certain positions, or education, or whatever it is, having certain things that people think because you have it, you must share with them. You must give that to them. And if you don't, you think that you're better. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do for anybody, because you're grown. And when you're grown, you don't explain yourself to another grown person. Well, at least I don't. One thing Marlene is not going to do, I'm not going to go back and forth with nobody. When I know my worth, when I know like that's not something I want to get myself involved with, there will never be a response. There will never be a response because I don't do that. That's not me. But I'm not saying for you to not do that. Everyone has to determine what they want to do for themselves. Okay. And this is one of the things when someone is angry, we don't have to be angry too. Take control or be controlled. There are a lot of people who, when they're so envious of who we are, they're so jealous and they want for us to say something so that they can have another thing to say about us, another thing to say about us. And it's ridiculous because it's never anything of substance. And a lot of things that they say, the reason for their hatred of us is nonsensical. Like, I'm like, are you serious? Like they make up this whole narrative, this whole false narrative about you to get people to not like you because they're so angry, because they're so hateful, and it's and there's no reason why. What drives me crazy sometimes about some people is you have bent over backwards, you have helped them, you have done more for them than you have even done for yourself. And the one time maybe that you can't, or the one time that some situation happens and it's not possible for you to do it, they come out of a bag on you, yelling and screaming, cussing, talking about all kinds of stuff, talking about your business and all these things. And you're like, whoa, what is happening here? Where does this come from? I always say that you really find out who somebody is when they're angry. When somebody is mad and they still choose to be cool, they still choose to not, you know, be cussing or um, sharing and spreading your personal business or personal conversations. That's a person that I can always respect. When a person is angry and they still know self-control, yeah, that's a person that I can respect. But we can't do anything about the ones that are envious. Can't do anything about it. We can't make somebody, you know love themselves. And that's all that jealousy is and envy is someone looking at you and wanting what you have for whatever it is, having a material possession, having a certain gift. But when you start to think about it, because I used to be in that space for a long time where I was jealous of other people. But the whole thing is, I was jealous of other people because I was not focusing on my personal gifts. I wasn't focusing on what I can do. And that's usually the biggest issue when it comes to envy. People forget about what they can do and they focus on what they can't. And I've learned that to channel my focus, my power, my energy into what I can do and stop thinking about what I can't. That doesn't make any sense. Don't worry about what you can't do, what you can't change. You know, put your energy into what you can. It'll make you have so much more peace of mind. And peace of mind is something that, oh, there is nothing like peace of mind. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like being at a space to where you can just take a deep breath and there's no aggression, no anger, no screaming, no any of that. I love being in that space. So when I'm around people who are, always angry, yelling, screaming, gossiping, that's not good for us. It does something to us, you know, and that will keep you stagnant. You have to check that. Like, why am I so envious of this person? Why am I saying this about this person? They think they're this. For what? You have to check yourself when you start thinking that way. You really do. Okay. Yes, Miss Eunice. That just happened to me this past weekend. The same family member trying to be messy, and I just held the phone. I changed the subject to something positive. Of course, the call was short. Yes, that's the thing is when you it's called transfer of energy, transfer that power. You take your power back. They want to talk about something negative, and you start talking about positive. Well, things are great over here. Oh, I'm blessed. Oh, they hate that. No. Well, things aren't good. Good things aren't happening to me. Well, that's because you choose that. That's a choice. That's that's a good one. I can stay in control of me regardless of what they do. Yes. I always say that. No, regardless of what other people do, I'm the one that has to be in control of me. Talking about all of the things that they have done for you according to them. Hmm. And I always find that to be interesting. When you have friendships or in any relationships, it goes back and forth. And I don't go and take a notebook out, take a pen and a paper and write down, I've done this and this and this and this and this for this person. But there are a lot of people out there that are that way, that are envious. And there's, oh, I did this and I did that and I did that. The people who keep track of what they do for you is someone that you really need to pay attention to. Is this a relationship that I want to keep? Hey, James, how are you doing? Welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I hope all is well with you. Yes, everybody, hit the like, please. I'm going to get into my next point here. So, when someone is envious of what we have or who we are, it should not stop us from being ourselves. Never let other people and their envy of you, what they call that green monster. And it will take control of you. That envy, it will completely take over your whole mind, your heart, and cause you to do things that you would never do because you want what they have, and you're willing to go to any means to have it, no matter what it means. Hurting people, talking about them, backstabbing, stealing. Be careful when it comes to that envy, everybody. And if you have people around you and they're always envious of what you have and what you're doing, you're going to have to pull away from those individuals, because if we don't, when we're around people who are always envious of everything we do, and you have to feel like you have to explain why you're doing what you're doing, or you're explaining why you have what you have, that will stop you, or at least it will slow you down from being yourself. It will slow you down from going after the things that you need to go after. And we have to learn how to navigate through that, because we can't stop the jealous people, the envious people, the hateful people. We can do nothing about that. We can't stop it, but we can always change. It's a choice that we have to make on how we choose to deal with them, how we choose to see it, how we choose to focus on it. Are we going to look at the positive things, or are we going to stay in that negative space? Never allow another person to take control of your mind. Remember, you're in control of that. There's a lot of people that, yes, they're irritating, they're annoying, they will challenge you and who you are. Some people will even embarrass you, make you feel like you're less, but never let anybody take away from your self-esteem, what you think about yourself, or what you think that you can do. Anybody who tries to stop you from doing what is good for you is not a person who deserves to be in your life. Yes, I'm doing great, James. Thank you. I'm glad you are too. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And that's one of the things that I had to learn for myself, learn how to elevate out of that. Okay. I'm here on, this is the last point. I'm putting the invite link in here. If anybody has any points that they would like to share while I'm on this last point here, you're more than welcome to come up. This is the point in the show where I give you all the stage if you have something to add. So this point, we all have we have to allow others to have their emotions, and here's the but. We have to allow other people to have their emotions as long as it doesn't physically attack us or our mental or our physical well-being. Now, if we have people in our life that attack us physically and bring us physical harm, no. Or someone who the words that they say affect us mentally, make us feel like we're less than, make us feel sad, hurt, manipulated, or used, no. Those are the ones that we have to stay away from. We can't allow other people to how they're feeling, what they're going through, what their emotions are, to go as far as to bring us down. Never let another person bring you down, make you feel less than, or especially, a person who's angry and person who wants to scream. We have to learn to control that. You have to make a choice. I don't want to deal with that person. I don't want to talk with that person. I don't want to be around these people because of what they say and what they do. And it's not a matter of age, because some people that you could be grown all day long, but they're not mature. That's something that you have to learn. You have to make a choice to be mature. You have to make a choice to say, even when somebody does something to me, no, I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to, there's going to be no response for me. Or if it's a response and you have to tell them, I'm not dealing with you because of this, because I do believe in teaching other people, and letting them know, informing them, you will not talk to me like that. I will not deal with you anymore, and this is why. So, teach them too, because I'm a firm believer. I will teach you and then I will leave you. You will not disrespect me. You will not make me feel any less than. See, when we know our worth, that there's a difference. And I want you all to understand that. Know your worth. Don't let other people who are low vibrational, negative, lazy, jealous, stop you from being yourself, stop you from your joy, stop you from your peace. Okay. And it is hard. I'm not going to even pretend. It is so hard to deal with other people, our family members, your children, romantic interests, workplace. It's hard to deal with other people, but you can. You can deal with them. You can deal with others. But we're the ones that have to respect ourselves. Respect yourself, even if other people don't. You know, that's what others don't understand. People will be so angry. People will be so envious of you, thinking that they know you and they know your life. They don't know you. They don't know your life. They don't understand. And there are people that you have to definitely cut off. You have to cut them off, and you have to respect yourself. Respect is earned. And there are some people who do not deserve to be respected by you. And you have to leave them alone. They will never change, especially the ones who are your family. You know, those relatives, they will do some of the most cutthroat things to you that you just like, I don't understand. Or even your person you're in a romantic relationship, just the things that they will say, it cuts you to your heart. It hurts so much. But that doesn't mean that you've done anything. That just means that they just haven't dealt with them their own self, or they're just so used to having control over you. And being angry and being envious is a control thing. They want to control your emotions. They want you to say something. They want you to go back and forth with them. They want all of those things. Don't give that to them. Don't give it to them. Ignore them. Ignore them. Yes, Eunice says, I just had a family member's not talk. not to talk to me in a disrespectful way. I don't allow it or tolerate it. They corrected it. Good. I'm glad they corrected it. And that's one of the reasons why you have to let people know what you want, the way you want to be treated. You have to show them because they're not going to they're not going to say anything if you keep allowing them to yell and scream and use you and use your money, use your body, do all of these things to you. You're the one that has to respect yourself. You have to respect yourself. Other people are not going to say anything if you will constantly let you use them. They're going to allow it, of course. And they say, oh, I can talk to them any way I want to. All I have to do is tell them I love them and they're going to do exactly what I want. Or if I say, whatever, and they'll give that to me, they'll give me the money. All you have to do is apply a little pressure. All you have to do is complain or shed a tear. There are people out here who have real mental illness. They're real manipulators, okay? And they will never change. They will never stop. But you're the one that has to put a stop to it. Until you put a stop to things, it will keep going. Don't allow other people to take advantage of you, especially your relatives. And, I didn't really talk about friends, but, one of the things that I don't like about life is that when you have a friend is chosen. You chose to have a friendship with them. It's different from relatives. You can't help the relatives that you're born into. You can't help that. That's already done for you. You just find yourself in the circumstance where these are the people that you have to deal with on a regular basis. But what you have control over is how you think about it, how you focus on it, and how you use your energy. Hey Shay, how are you doing? Welcome. And that's one of the things that I had to learn for myself is that I have to be in control of my own energy. I have to be in control of my own power. And if you have people who love to scream, they love to yell, they love the drama, they love all of those things, you have to be the one to say, I don't want any part of this. I'm going to have to cut myself off from them or slow down from them or not respond, you know. I'm doing awesome, Shay. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. And that's one of the things that I definitely didn't understand. I definitely don't didn't understand that. I thought that, I thought I had to support relatives. I thought I had to support my romantic interest because that's just what you do, right? That's what you do. You support people. But the ones that are difficult, hmm, they really can get on your nerves. I have to say that. People can really get on your nerves, especially your relatives. They can really, really, really get on your nerves. But you got to have control over yourself, and you have to make a determination of how much you're going to take and tolerate. And then when it gets to be of a point of no return, you're going to have to leave them alone. Yeah, family sometimes the entitled to a bunch. Yes. Yes, yes. That's for real. That's for real. Yes, they're entitled to a bunch, but the whole thing about it is that a lot of us are we allow it. We turn our relatives, we turn our family, your children, your romantic interests, other people, because we allow so many things. We allow them to yell at us, to scream at us, to put us down, to make us feel some type of way. And part of navigating through those difficult emotions is learning to respect yourself and to say, I don't like how you're treating me. I don't like how you're talking to me. I don't like your lack of support. You have to speak up for yourself and tell people how you feel. Hey, East, how are you doing? Welcome in. Appreciate you being here. How is your day? Let's see what I missed. Hi, kittens. Oh, you're not late. Always appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. How are you doing today? Yes. Yes, Don, the main ones that get on minds. Yes. The people who always talk about how much they love you and they care about you, they don't love and care about you. They love and care about your money. They love and care about you being able to be available for them. They love being able to control you. And when they can't control you, especially I will say, like on the job, when they can't get you to do what they want, then they hate you. Then they start talking about you. Then all of those things, you know? So be careful about all of those things. Be careful about who you trust because not everybody that you know you can trust. There's a lot of people who have anger issues. They may have a lot of things going on, but it's not your problem to fix them. It's not your problem to make somebody grow up. It's not your problem to make someone get mature. Okay? It's not. A lot of people have a lot of anger issues. They really do. So, you just have to do the best that you can. That's all. We can't do anything more than our own personal best. We can't. Thank you for putting some emojis, kittens. Appreciate it. You're decent. Well, that's good. I hope that it gets turned that decent into I'm doing great. Yes, you're finishing work. You're doing well. Awesome. I love to hear that. Oh, back to membership. Welcome back to membership, East. Thank you so much. Let me remove this banner. Let's see. I got to play the membership. Here we go. Shout out to you, East. Welcome back. Yes, thank you so much, Puzzle Pieces, for dropping those links. I really do appreciate it. Yes, it is such a hard life lesson. It is. It's so hard to deal with people who are negative. It is so hard. It's so hard to deal with people who have anger issues and people who are jealous of you. It is so hard. Yes. Thank you so much for dropping those links, puzzle pieces. Yes, East. Yes, yes, member, a new member. So I see my wonderful Miss Nexty in the background. Let's welcome her to the show. Miss Nexty.
I'm so sorry. You remember I have a seal here at home, so I had to mute it
Oh,
for a minute. How are you, Miss Marlene?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
Wonderful topic,
Thank you. Thank
as always,
you.
as always. But when I put down, family sometimes equals the entitled bunch is because it's true, Marlene. They use the family card, we're blood. To make you do things that sometimes you go out of your way for because you can't at that moment. You drop other things that are important to help them. And sometimes that can cost you a job, a friendship, you know what I mean? A romantic relationship. It can lead to a lot of things because we allow them to get to that
Mhm.
point where they feel so entitled of our time, of our resources. Let's not forget
Mhm.
that.
Yes. I know all about it. I know all about it, Miss Nexie, especially the resources part. And they get so upset and angry when you say no to them. Like I have a choice to say no. I have a choice to say no, or with your time, if they can't get you to show up to something, everybody has to make a choice, and sometimes you got to make a choice to choose yourself.
And or when when they in need of money, right? And you can only give them so much, and the time before you gave them a little bit more, they get upset because you didn't give them the same amount this time when you're pitching in for something. You're like, I have rent due. Do you want me to lose my housing or my dwelling, or do you want me to make sure that you're happy? But a lot of times it's we are the ones, Marlene, who allow them to get away with things that maybe somebody else would put a stop to from the very beginning. So we are enablers sometimes of that. But we can always change and choose to, talk it out and say, you know what, from now on, we can't do this anymore. They can be family, but sometimes they take our peace of mind away. And I feel that, at least for me, when I have family around, and I start feeling that one person is taking that peacefulness from me, or that delight on seeing the family, I start distancing myself from that person, because my peace of mind, my emotional and mental health are more important than the one person that is
Mhm.
only there to cause trouble. That entitled person.
Yes, yes, Miss Nexie, that entitled person, and it's like dealing with them, especially when that's your relative, somebody that like you can't easily separate. It's different when it's a coworker or it's a friend, but when it's a relative that you have to deal with on a regular basis, especially if it's your kids or if your aunt, uncle, your mom, some important part of your immediate family that you can't just wipe them clear out, like with a friend, you can make a choice. I don't have to deal with you. But when when that's your
Exactly.
yeah, you just have to move accordingly onto, what you're dealing with. And there are sometimes where for your peace of mind, because they're so angry or controlling, you got to block them from calling you, because they'll be so demanding. Like, you, well, what are you doing? I know you're not doing anything. Like, excuse me.
Yeah, and it's something that friendships are those are family that you choose, because a lot of good friendships, they turn into family members at the end of everything. They are more like family than your family sometimes. But some people that you cannot, and a lot of times we say that, well, she is my aunt, I can't, get rid of her, I can't not, kick her out of my house, or I cannot invite her. But actually you can. you, you
Mhm,
cannot invite her. Yeah, it's your house. It's
mhm,
different if you go to somebody else's house, right? Because
right.
sometimes they're so envious of what you have that turns them green.
Mhm,
Once they cannot get under your skin, that turns them green too. Like, why aren't I getting to her? Like, what's wrong with her? Is she like, she's got superpowers now? Or why does she have a better job than I do? Or why does she have a better house than I do? And all
mhm.
those things create a lot of envious and very negative people.
It really does. It really does, Miss Nexie. I want to highlight this comment from Kittens. She says, "I isolate often because I struggle with healthy boundaries, and I used to do that for a little while, when I didn't know how to speak up for myself. But one thing that helped me a lot with that is to not allow other people to stop me from living my life." Um, And I had to start doing that for myself. Like, don't stop being yourself. Don't stop enjoying your life or having peace because of other people. If people come at you in a negative way, you have to be like, nope, stop. I'm not letting anybody stop my peace and my joy. I have
Hmm.
to enjoy myself.
Exactly. And you can, again, family, we come, Marlene, from a group of from families that they tell us over and over and over and over that family is first. Family is everything. And I understand that. I've done that to my kids. But when it comes to brothers and sisters, right, we're all here together, mom and dad. But at the same time, I have told them, if there's one point that you don't like something I do or your siblings do, whatever, you can speak up. I don't like when you do that. It's not going to hurt anyone if you speak up before it gets to the point where it becomes something toxic for you and for everybody else. So,
Yeah.
coming from a
Yeah.
family that is always telling us families first, blood first, but doesn't tell us you can put a stop to that, then that can turn very, very, very toxic and fast,
Hmm. Yeah. And,
because
and
we have
that's
to respect those people.
right. Exactly. Next thing. That's why I always talk about healthy boundaries. Going back to the comment of kittens, one of the things that I had to learn when I went to therapy is that I did not have healthy boundaries. And that was the reason why I was always by myself. I didn't know how to, speak up for myself and say, I don't want to do that. I don't want to
Mm,
show up. I don't want to go there. Why? Because I don't like that person, or they make me feel uncomfortable, or even saying, have enough courage to saying sometimes I can't afford that. It's like
hmm.
something is wrong with us when we say we can't afford something. Like, what? But you have a good job, but you have this, but
They start
yeah,
throwing everything on your face.
yeah, they throw it in your face. But I have enough courage to, to speak up now and to say that, like, yes,
Yep,
I can. There's certain things I can't afford. There's
yep.
certain things I don't want to do. There's certain places I don't want to go. There's certain people that make me feel uncomfortable because I know my worth. Whereas before, when I didn't know my worth, I didn't know that I could say that because I didn't feel I had the choice.
Exactly. And that's the same thing I did, kittens, when I went to my therapy. Is I had to unlearn a lot of things and learn good ways of coping. And the one thing I learned, and once I did that, and I mean not learning because I didn't know it, but I mean I learned that it was okay for me to say the word no, and the word I can't, and the word I won't, and I don't like. Because, like Marlene, I used to be like everybody's come to person.
Mm-hmm.
If you need something, come to auntie, blah, blah, blah. If you need something, come to next. If you need something, So once I learned the no, I don't,
Mm-hmm.
nope, I'm not going to do it. Nope, I don't want to. Nope, I don't like you. Nope. That actually brought me out of my shell.
Mm-hmm.
Once I learned that word no, I was saying it for everything. And I was becoming so much happier because I was able to use a simple word of no, I don't, or I don't want to, simple sentences.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I wasn't, I wasn't able to say before. It was forbidden for me to say that word in my mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's family. You have to find a way, and that puts a lot of pressure and anxiety on people, because you're thinking, how am I going to find it? And if not, then I'm going to disappoint mom and dad, or my sisters, or my cousins, or whatever. So you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and you start becoming reclusive, because instead of facing all of the criticism, or the somebody's party's coming this May, and we all gonna pitch in. Instead of facing that I don't have the money to do so, you start hiding yourself away so that you not ask about that money that you don't have. So it's
Mm-hmm.
better, to if you like I did. I once I learned that, I I actually like it now. I say it for fun. Nope, 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 nope.
Yep. Like you always say no, but yes,
I
I
made
do.
a
But
song now. I tell Marlene nope all the time, even though I'm
yes,
gonna
you
do it.
do.
But I said,
She does. So I want to highlight this comment from Miss Eunice. She says we teach people how to treat us. We have to have a conversation. If a person does not want to change at some point, family or not, we have to deal with them from a distance or not at all. Amen, Miss
exactly.
Eunice.
Amen to that, Miss Eunice.
Yeah.
That's exactly. But getting to this, to that point, for at least for me, and I understand for Marlene as well, it was very difficult coming from the family that we come from.
Very.
Where it's like, no, 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 no. What do you mean you can't? Are you sick? What's wrong with you? Why can't you? And everybody comes to your attack, not to your defense, to your attack to find out
Mhm.
why. And so it's something that you learn to say no, or to distance yourself from that person. And you're gonna get a lot of criticism. Everybody's gonna attack you because you're doing that. But eventually, once you learn that it's okay and that they are gonna come back and understand why you're doing the things that you're doing, you have to develop a very harsh, like very thick armor to cover
Mhm.
yourself with, so that nothing that they say to you can penetrate that that armor.
Exactly. That's the thing. So I see new people in the chat today. Hi, Cooley. How are you doing? Welcome.
Oh,
Thank you so
Coolie.
much for thanks for so much for coming over. I really appreciate you guys. I hope everybody is well. Yes, unlearn
Hi,
is
Coolie.
yes. Hi to everybody in the chat. Yes, unlearn is a really good way of putting it. Yeah, that's what I had to do. That's one thing that I learned when I was in therapy. I had to unlearn a lot of negative things, and then the whole thing about it, which I didn't know because I didn't have those coping skills. I had to learn to
Mm-hmm.
unlearn the negative and to replace it with something positive. Because if you don't replace a negative with a positive, you'll always go back to the negative.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
Oh, it's a beautiful comment.
Yeah, Miss Eunice says, I have learned that I love my family, but I love myself more. You have to have love for yourself first, then others. I'm not going to allow someone to suck the life out of me. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that is so good,
Deep.
Miss Eunice. Yeah, that that's so good. And it's something I think everybody is always working on themselves. I believe that everybody is a work in progress, but there are certain times where I have to learn that I'm valuable enough to say no, and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter who it is, it doesn't matter your kids, it's your spouse, it's this person who no matter how important they are to you, but you have to be important to yourself.
Yeah, and again, it's exactly for what Miss Eunice has just said, is that I, including my kids, I love them dearly, Marlene. I do. I love my children, but they're grown ups already. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? They already know that I have already taught them everything they need to know, to fend for themselves. If the relationship, it's not working out, or it's not healthy at the moment, it's as a parent, you have to sometimes distance yourself from them, so that
Mhm.
you both can get perspective on why things are not working out between the two of you. And that's what I choose to do. I choose my distance, and I analyze everything that's going on. I give my kids their distance too when they need it. And we come back and get together and talk about what's going on and why it's going on this way. It may not be a pleasant conversation, right? They may be a little bit of an argument here and there, because we're both looking at things a different way. But the one thing I have always taught him, because my father did that to me, is no disrespect when it comes to each other. No, it doesn't matter how upset we are. We have to be respectful of ourselves. And So I choose that for my well-being, for my peace of mind, for a healthy mind and heart. Because if you don't, you can lose, your kids, and they can lose you as well.
Yeah.
So including children, I talk about a lot about children because compared to others that are on YouTube and in other social media platforms, my children are grown. A lot of the people that I come across here on YouTube, a lot of them are young ones, still raising their kids, right? They're still little. But as they get older, it's a different beast. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that you deal with a different person. That's a grown ass person,
Mhm.
a grown up person. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say a grown up person that you are dealing with. You're not dealing with a child anymore. You're not dealing with your baby anymore. It's a grown up that you're dealing with. And as a grown up, if you have been the parent that with discipline and a lot of encouragement have raised a grown up that is confident in everything, it's gonna be able to take that time and come back and work with you on that. So,
Yes, exactly, Miss Nexie. And one of the things that I learned in as I got mature, is one of the biggest lessons of my entire life is learning that when I have issues that within whatever the relationship, whether it's with my friends, it's my relative, it's in my romantic relationship, that we attack the problem but not each other.
mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that
Exactly.
I don't care for you. It doesn't mean I don't care for you or love you. It just means
No.
that I'm having a problem with this. And I had to learn that because before I used to always feel like they were attacking me, but no,
Mm,
they're attacking what I am doing, and I had to learn to separate myself from that. That it's not a personal attack. It's just something that I need to work on myself with. And when you're in a healthy, mature relationships, you're able to say what you're doing is hurting me. What you're doing, not
mm-hmm.
who you are.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you were pretty much projecting your
Yep,
feelings towards the person that was trying to help you. And a
exactly.
lot of us do that, Marlene. A lot of times we're in a place and in a space that we're not mentally prepared to deal with certain things. And and again, I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I take things the wrong way, and it's not even that the person said it that way. It's just that I'm projecting myself and I take it the wrong way. But I am grown enough to say, you know what, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did that to you. I acted the way I did, or I answered you that way. I'm normally not like that. I was just projecting, you know, what I
Mhm.
was thinking that you were saying, or what I was feeling at that moment on you. But as adults, we have to behave. We have to watch what we say. We have to watch how we interact with others, because kids are watching us on everything that we do, especially if they're little. So you need to be respectful of others. You need to, if you got to handle certain things, Marlene, with those family members that envy you, that are, disrespectful of you, whatever, do it away from your kids,
Mhm.
or kids, because they learn everything. They're like little sponges. We
Yep,
have to bring them up better than we were,
that's what
so
I
that they don't go through what we went through. Go ahead, Marlene. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I say that all the time. You have to be better than who you were in your before your elevation. You have to be better than who you were before you came into your own being, until you became confident and knew your worth and knew that you can have better than what you may have settled for. Because for a long time I settled for so many things from other people and even myself,
Mm.
and I had to stop allowing myself to be stuck and say, unstuck, be unstuck. Okay, it's time to get refocused and it's time to think a different way about yourself and other people because we tend to sometimes think that people are against us and don't like us when actually they're trying to say or do something so that we improve.
Yes, ma'am. Guilty of it.
Yeah, yeah. So guilty of that part. And that's one of the things about, but that's the difference, in speaking to those who are mature. And that's what we talk about over here on this space about maturity and elevation, that we don't have to accept what we always have. You deserve better. You deserve better than what you may have been settling for, or what, one of the best things that I feel like filled up my cup in a way that nothing else has is, I remember when my mentor told me, um, do you know your power and your worth? And I was like, of course I do. And she says, then act like it. And it was like, yeah, because a lot of times we'll say all day long, I love myself, I'm worthy, I'm
Mm,
all of these things, but then we put up a wall, or we close ourselves out of things, or we talk ourselves out of dreams and hopes that we know that we could do that. We know we're good at it, but we will self-sabotage ourselves, and we have to stop.
or I'm all about this, and then we allowed people to disrespect us in
Hmm.
ways that we wouldn't allow others, right? And then we're I'm this, I'm that, but then you're allowing certain behaviors from others. So yeah, we have to be accountable for what we do and don't do. Um, but the most important thing is that we have to love ourselves first and foremost before we can love anybody else.
Hmm. And
You
and
know, we
that's
have to.
and that's the thing, Miss Maxie and Chat. It's very important for us to learn to love ourselves. And for a long time, I was loving myself how other people wanted to love me.
Hmm.
Oh, I had to learn to love myself how I want to be loved. And I had to prove that to myself and make changes. Be accountable, be responsible, be courageous, speak up when you don't like something, you know. Do what is good for you, not what is good for everyone. So, yeah,
Hmm.
all of those,
Exactly.
all of those things. So,
Exactly. And
very.
it's important, because loving yourself, knowing what you are capable of putting up with or not, that's the difference between having, those people that we're talking about in your title. Is there's a difference between having healthy relationships all the way across, or having people like that. You have to love yourself a lot so that you know what you like, and like you said, that you're so you can be loved the way that I'm supposed to be loved, the way
Mhm.
that I know I should be loved. Those are the
Yep.
words I had to say at my therapy.
Yeah.
And I
I,
wouldn't say them. You know what I mean. You know what I
yes,
mean.
I do. Yes, I do. Everybody who has ever been to therapy knows exactly what you're talking about when they tell you, like, when are you going to tell me the truth? And you think you're doing so good, boy. I'm like, I write it down. I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to say because I don't want them to find out this, and they're looking at me like, who do you think you're fooling? Okay.
And it's like, did you memorize those lines from when you wrote them down yesterday? You're like, what? Were you in my room?
He's
No,
like,
but
wait a minute, were there cameras? What?
you have cameras
What?
in my room. No, but the thing is that for me, it was because everything was you're supposed to be everybody's helper, right? Selfless.
Mhm.
Everybody, you have to help everybody. That's how I grew up because my dad used to do that. So I put it in my mind. It wasn't more that I was obligated to, but I had in my mind that I had to be that for everybody, right? So
Mhm.
I had to say, because I couldn't take ownership of that. I couldn't say, I got to be loved this way. I have to be respected this way. Like I couldn't put myself first, Marnie. And the
Mhm.
therapist said, there's a way words work for you, and the words that you say are going to make a difference in your brain. They're going to hit in a different way. So you got to find the right words so that you can start understanding their worth and your worth. So I was like, oh, I couldn't say that. I couldn't say, I'm supposed to be first. I'm,
Mhm.
and he'll say, yeah, okay, if you don't want to use it, well, I know I'm first. No, he's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. He says, you have to, show me that you actually know that. And it took us a long time for me to put myself there first. It was a difficult decision, but once I did, I like it.
Yeah. And I think that that is a very empowering thing when you start to tell people, when you say this is how it makes me feel. Not putting them down, no throwing
Hmm.
shots or
Hmm.
anything. When you do or you say this is how it makes me feel, so that they can't add anything to it. And you're just saying just that. When I learned that, I empowered myself and them too. You can't say anything else than this. You have to let people know the things that they're doing or saying, how it is affecting you. Not that they want to do that, but that's how you are interpreting it, and that's how you show that you respect yourself and you're courageous enough to say, "Don't do that to me. Don't treat me
Hmm.
this way. And if you do it again, I'm gonna have to cut you off, or back away from you." And I've had to,
Exactly.
like I said, I have like a limit, because like your relatives, you can't just cut them off. But like I was like, I told you before, when you do that, it makes me feel that way, and I asked you to stop it. And if they don't, you're gonna have to, for your peace of mind. You have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to put a stop to it. Not. And when we say you have to put a stop, you don't have to be rude about it.
Mm-mm.
You can be, you can be grown up. You can be the grown up, even if they aren't. But you can be the grown up, and you can say, I don't like this. I don't like that. It makes me feel some type of way, and I don't appreciate you doing that. They may get upset, might storm out of the room and call you a few names, but it doesn't matter. You were the grown up. You taught them that you guys can have conversations as grown ups without cussing, without disrespecting one another. You're teaching them that. And so this person, even if she storms or he storms out of the room, it doesn't matter. You did your job, because it's all that we can do. We can start acting as grown-ups. If people don't want to and they want to act a fool, then that's on them. All you can do is be proud of the fact that you continue to be, your natural self, your true self, a
Exactly.
grown-up.
Exactly, Miss Nexty. I couldn't have said it any better, any other way. I feel like this is a good place to end today's discussion. It's a great podcast. So, any of you who are going through things, and you have people who are angry, envious, and all of those things, and you feel like you're overwhelmed with their emotions, you have a choice to make. And make a choice to choose yourself and respect yourself. And if they don't want to make changes, you may have to back away from them. So, thank you so
Hmm.
much, Miss Nexty. I really do appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Miss Marlene. I just wanted to come put my 2 little cents here. You know how I am.
And I do appreciate it every single time.
Thank you for having me.
No
I'll go
problem.
down to the chat.
Thank you, Miss
Bye.
Nexty. Bye. And that's one of the things, everybody, know your worth, know your power. And you know what we say over here on Marlene Motivates: just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life. I'll see you all on Wednesday on the Dose of Positivity. Bye bye, everybody.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life. I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? I forgive me. I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? Ooh, hey, yeah. Whoa.